Hi everyone and welcome to Linger Longer with Books. My name's Catherine and in this week's video I'm going to be taking you with me to a bookbinding exhibition. So you're probably asking yourself, what the hell do you mean by a bookbinding exhibition? So essentially I saw an advert, I think on social media or online, for a current exhibition that is on at Petersfield Museum. Now Petersfield is a beautiful historic market town, which is about 18 miles, probably 20 miles from where I live. And I will just read you a little bit about the exhibition because I obviously can't do it justice myself. So the exhibition is titled Bound Together, Modern British Bookbinding. It's been running since mid-February and it's on until the 3rd of May. So if any of this is of interest to you, you can just head online and book tickets. So anyway, the exhibition is all about the life and work of internationally renowned bookbinder Roger Powell, whose work on exquisite books out of his Froxfield bindery transformed the knowledge of bookbinding for generations. And it says tradition and innovation connect the work of Roger Powell, 1896 to 1990, with William Morris and the Kelmscott Press, the Book of Kells at Trinity College Dublin, conservation work on flood damaged books in Florence in 1966, and outstanding contemporary bookbinding today. So the exhibition will tell the fascinating story of Powell, and through a collection of rarely seen fine bindings from private collectors. His remarkable career spanned over 5 decades from the 1930s. And it just sounds really, really fascinating and probably a rare insight into an incredible kind of craftsmanship and talent and something that really should be celebrated. So I will just end now this little segment. Sorry for any glare on my iPad, but that is a picture of Powell there in his bindery in Froxfield, which I understand is quite close to Petersfield. But anyway, I'm going to get on the road now, get in my car. It probably should take me about 30-40 minutes to get there, just depending on motorway roadworks and kind of traffic volume, because it is a gorgeous sunny day out there. So I'm also going to be exploring Petersfield town centre itself, hoping to visit the library there, and any sort of charity shops for any secondhand books that kind of grabbed my eye. So anyway, I hope that we have a really kind of fun day together, and I shall obviously report back later. I arrived and Petersfield was really nice and sunny. There was a market on which was popular with locals and with visitors, and I decided to first stop at the local library. As you can see, they had a great selection of hardback and paperback titles, fiction, non-fiction, as well as children's titles. But on this occasion, I came away empty-handed, which is absolutely fine. I then went around charity shops and I decided to get a quick cold refreshment and read some of my current book in the sun, which is really, really lovely. Petersfield is known to be quite an affluent community, so you can imagine that the charity shops there have an incredible selection of books to buy, and I absolutely fell down that trap. I had a look in the local Waterstones, but again on this occasion I came away empty-handed. I parked a short distance from Petersfield Museum. Let's take a second to enjoy the gorgeous blue skies and the spring sunshine while we spin around to show you the front of Petersfield Museum, which is really lovely. It was time to go into the bookbinding exhibition itself, and as you can see, they had the books on display, which were incredible to see with my own eyes. Lots and lots of really well-known titles, all bound in very different, unique ways, with colours and with designs and techniques. Here is an edition of the Bible, which is in a dark red, which I personally think gives it a sense of gravitas. Every book design and book binding is obviously unique, but I really got a sense of just how dedicated people like Powell were. The intricate designs, they were all handmade and hand produced. Just incredible really to see. Here you can see copies of Homer's The Odyssey in incredible colours in a cabinet, and also other kind of Odyssey related artefacts. I thought I would include this map of Petersfield for those of you who aren't familiar with where it is. As I mentioned earlier, it's in Hampshire on the south coast of England. Question of the day: do you know any bookbinding terms? I don't really, but if you want to learn some, just hit pause right now. So it's now a little later in the day. I'm home from Petersfield. I look a little bit more dishevelled than I did earlier on, and that's because, for one thing, I've cut the grass because it was nice and dry and sunny, as you saw in the footage, and I just thought, let's just get on and cut the grass. So that was quite hot work. Just been grocery shopping, so I thought that I would come on here and just kind of round up my thoughts on today, and show you the 7 books that I came home with secondhand. Whoops. Oh well, sorry, not sorry. All of that stuff that we all know about. It is a genuine thing, isn't it, buying books, even though we've got overflowing TBRs and all that stuff. Petersfield had an irresistible selection of books, all many in fantastic condition, paperbacks and hardbacks. So without further ado, I'm just going to go through those that I bought. I'll do them in the order that I bought them in. First was Mary Poppins by Lauren Child. Hopefully you can see that clearly on the screen. I've been aware of Lauren Child as an illustrator for many years, and I had known that she had illustrated Mary Poppins, but when I saw this, it was Cancer Research UK, for UK viewers and people familiar with those charity shops. It was tiny, but it was jam-packed full of children's toys, books, clothes. From what I could tell, it was just dedicated to children's books, and yeah, a great variety in there. But I spotted this, then a lady came up beside me, she kind of reached for it, looked at it, and I was like, oh, don't pick it. She sort of slid it back into the row. And then I very quickly grabbed it, thinking I'm going to regret it if I don't pick this up. But anyway, let me show you inside. It's a little bit tatty around the edges, but I don't think that's a bad thing for the price that I'll tell you that I paid. So it's beautifully kind of typeset, and it's got fantastic illustrations, black and white, and there are some in colour as well. Oh yeah, that's the merry-go-round. So Mary Poppins is obviously originally a book, but it's a film that I grew up watching. So yeah, I was chuffed to get that. I will keep that with the sleeve on. I think outside of that sleeve, oh, it's got a merry-go-round horse, and it's pale green, but I will keep it on there just to protect it. So this cost me £3.95, which I don't think is bad at all for that. Originally it would have been what, £25, probably £20. And when was it published? Let me have a look. A couple of years ago, although time just bends and warps, doesn't it? Oh, I don't know, it might be on the back. Oh, I don't know. Oh, it's on the very back. No, not 2018. Okay, that's shocking. Where have I been the last 7 years? Who knows? There's that one. Okay, next up, what the hell? I saw this one Belinda Bauer Rubbernecker. I have read Snap by Belinda Bauer, enjoyed that. I'm curious to read more of her novels. This was the remaining 6 books that I bought. I bought in, what was it? Was it Oxfam? I feel it was Oxfam. Let's go with Oxfam. The receipt is over there. I'm not going to get it. I'm pretty confident it was Oxfam. So yeah, Rubbernecker is a crime thriller. It's all around Patrick, who's uncovered a crime that the experts were too close to see. Life is strange for Patrick Fort. Being a medical student with Asperger's syndrome doesn't come without its challenges, and that's before he is faced with solving a possible murder. I won't go any further than that, but that was £2.99, a little bit more on the expensive side for secondhand books in Petersfield, it felt like, just because, like I mentioned before, it is quite a wealthy middle-class community, so it's definitely on the pricier side. Even Winchester, which is, I would say, well, it's technically been voted one of the best cities to live in the UK or England, their prices aren't as high as that. So yeah, absolutely, they are gunning for every penny that they can obviously raise through the book sales. So there's that one. Next 2 are by Rainbow Powell. So there's Eleanor and Park and Fangirl. I had seen copies of these books, if I'm honest, on my recent trip to Dublin, to Chapters Bookstore. I will try and pop the link to that video in the description below. But did I say Rainbow Powell or Rainbow Rowell? Sorry, I'm going a bit delirious now. Sorry, yeah, so both of these were £1.99 each, obviously about very different things. So in terms of Fangirl, Kath and Ren are identical twins, as am I in real life, with my twin sister Rachel, who is also known as Books from My Bookshelf. She does appear in some of my videos. So yeah, keep watching for twin fun. Anyway, Kath and Ren are identical twins, and until recently they did absolutely everything together. Now they're off to university, and Ren's decided she doesn't want to be one half of a pair anymore. She wants to dance, meet boys, go to parties and let loose. It's not so easy for Kath. She would rather bury herself in the fan fiction she writes, where there's romance far more intense than anything she's experienced in real life. Now Kath has to decide whether she's ready to open her heart to new people and new experiences. Okay, so yeah, this is in pretty good shape for £1.99. There's that one. Eleanor and Park, New York Times bestseller. Again, not too bad condition, pretty good. Eleanor is the new girl in town, and with her chaotic family life, her mismatched clothes and unruly red hair, she couldn't stick out more if she tried. Park is the boy at the back of the bus, black t-shirts, headphones, head in a book. He thinks he's made himself invisible, but not to Eleanor, never to Eleanor. So that sounds like it's going to be quite life-affirming and quite enjoyable. So yeah, there's those 2. Then this was in their kind of teen YA section, I think. For £2.99, it's How to Survive a Horror Movie by Scarlett Dunmore. I had never heard of this. It was the cover that drew me in. Popcorn with some blood splatter. I think I can blame Grady Hendrix and other authors that I've read recently for that. Riley Sager is another one. So this is horror enthusiast Charlie is determined to keep a low profile when she's enrolled at a girls' boarding school on a remote island. That is until someone starts killing off her senior class. That's all I needed to read on that. And did I say £2.99? I'm stone cold sober. I'm just tired. So there we go for that one. Next are 2 hardbacks. First up, it kind of jumped out at me on the non-fiction bookshelf it was on, mainly probably due to the colour of the spine, but anyway, it's What I Ate in 1 Year by Stanley Tucci. It's in really good condition. I loved Taste by Stanley, and I thought I'm going to regret it if I don't pick this one up. This was on the pricier side of the books that I bought today. This was £6.99, but still cheaper than buying it new, hardback for sure. So this is all about, it says, sharing food is one of the purest human acts. Food has always been an integral part of Stanley Tucci's life, from stracciatella, soup, served in the shadow of the Pantheon, to marinara sauce cooked between rehearsals and costume fittings, to homemade pizza eaten with his children before bedtime. Now, in What I Ate in 1 Year, Tucci records 12 months of eating in restaurants, kitchens, film sets, press junkets, at home and abroad, with friends, with family, with strangers, and occasionally just by himself. So I'm sure that will be very comforting, very lovely, as equally as Stanley is himself. So that was £6.99. And then last but not least, I was at the till. The man was having trouble putting through these books because it was a new till system, and fate, serendipity, whatever you call it, there was several stacks of books behind the till, behind him, and somewhat 2 stacks on a shelf and then one just sort of on a sideboard. But I was like, are those books behind you for sale? Because I'm thinking, are they sort of to be gone through or prepped for putting out on the shop floor? But he was like, oh yeah. I said, well, can I have the Jenny Godfrey one then, please? It was just there. It was just, buy me, buy me, buy me. I have had my eye on this ever since the publicity started for this novel through Jenny's social media and the publishers, who are Hutchison Heinemann. I have not stopped hearing about it, and all things I've heard about it have been excellent. I, again, just thought, yeah, whatever it costs, really, kind of recklessly. But anyway, this was £5.99, which I think is fab. Again, it's in brilliant condition. It's as new. It was originally £14.99. When did it come out? It feels quite recently. Okay, last year. But this is all around Yorkshire, 1979. Maggie Thatcher is Prime Minister. Drainpipe jeans are in, and Miv is convinced that her dad wants to move their family down south because of the murders. That alludes to the Yorkshire Ripper murders that terrorised Yorkshire communities, the Leeds areas and other areas in the very sort of mid to late 1970s. Even though I wasn't born at that time, I've grown up knowing about the Yorkshire Ripper, watching many documentaries on it. So this period in British history really interests me, and the fact that Jenny has kind of set a fictional world kind of with some fact sort of strands coming into it is really kind of enticing for me. So it says, leaving Yorkshire and her best friend Sharon simply isn't an option, no matter the dangers lurking around their way or the strangeness at home that started the day Miv's mum stopped talking. Perhaps if she could solve the case of the disappearing women, they could stay after all. And so on. I'm not going to go through all of that, but yeah, I was just chuffed in particular with these two. I probably would have got them on audio at some point. I probably would have got them from the library or on my Kindle but I don't think anything can ever beat physical copies of your own. So there you go. These are all of the books that I bought today. Were any of them massively on my radar? No. Did I need any of them? No. But does that matter? Absolutely not. So all of these cost me, with a 6 in Oxfam, were £23.96, which I rounded up to 24. And then I rounded up the Lauren Child Mary Poppins to £4 as well. Just that's what they ask a lot of people to do now, to round up to the nearest pound. So 7 books for £28. I do not think that is bad at all. Please go ahead and leave me comments in the comments below of any of these books that you've read and that you recommend that I get to first out of all of them. I'm trying to hold them all up without dropping them. Yeah, I'd really like to know your thoughts on them. If there were any that you hated, perhaps not like leave me those sort of comments. But yeah, if there's any that would motivate me to read them even more than I'm sort of feeling at the moment, then yeah, please do go ahead and let me know yeah, what you're thinking. But I'm now going to go on to say a little bit about the exhibition that I went to whilst I was in Petersfield, and show you a couple of bits that I obviously bought in the gift shop. So you will have seen the footage from the museum and heard my kind of narration throughout my visit there. I hope you kind of have enjoyed a little bit of an insight into the history of bookbinding. I've just come away feeling it is such an incredible craftsmanship, talent, something that should be celebrated and seen and known about. There, alongside the Powell kind of focused exhibition part, there was also in the art gallery space, which was lovely to talk to the volunteers there about their sort of love of what they're sort of seeing every day when they do volunteer. That was very much around current and modern bookbinders. So that was great to see. Every book is obviously unique, and like I was saying, the colour palettes, the techniques, all of the designs. I think my favourite is like the marbling effect. But I am going to post some photos that I took on my social media account. So if you want to sort of have a bit of a closer look of stills of the exhibition, then do head to my Instagram mainly, which is Linger Longer with Books. Yeah, you will see a kind of a reel there. But I should just go on to, before I sort of say bye to you all this week, I just wanted to share with you, as I said, just a couple of bits that I bought in the gift shop. I always, if I'm going to some sort of experience or exhibition, I really do like to try to pick up a couple of souvenirs that I can kind of look back at in days or weeks or months or years to come, and that will kind of just go, oh yeah, that's kind of stirred that memory. So without further ado, I picked up first this print. It's a really nice little card. It's Petersfield Museum forecourt from a lino print by Jill Martin, and that was £3, and it's paper sourced from sustainable forest, so that's even better. But I thought I could sort of have this up on a notice board, one of my bookish boards that I'm creating. Thought that would be really nice, or perhaps I'll send it to a friend, who knows. Then there was this, which is the common, which is a lino and silk screen print. That's not very easy to say, by Angela Harding. I'm sure many of you out there are familiar with Angela Harding's prints and her extremely kind of popular books that she's now published, collections of her prints. So it says Angela Harding is a printmaker and illustrator working from her rural studio based in Rutland. And what I loved about this, and I'm going to open it up while I'm talking to you, is that I believe that it is something that I can I bend? Will it come out? Is it like that? I just thought that would be lovely for springtime if I could put it up perhaps here to have, to see. I love, my favourite colour is purple, so the purples and the lilacs and the lavenders here really caught my eye. There was one other option which featured a bird as well, but I went for this one. You've got butterflies, but yeah, I just thought that was really cute. And did I say that was £4? I think it is time for me to sign off because my memory is not serving me very well today. But yeah, if you are interested yourself in going to Bound Together Modern British Bookbinding, and you're able to travel to Petersfield in Hampshire on the south coast of England, it is on until the 3rd of May. Tickets are easily booked on their website. They have various admission prices. Under 18s go free. Concessions are £7. standard price is £8. I work for the NHS, so I was able to go in as a concession price, which is £1 cheaper. There's got to be some perks, haven't there? So anyway, I had a lovely time at Petersfield Museum. One thing that I didn't say on my narration when you saw the outside of the museum is it was originally a police station from 1858. So it's an incredible building itself. And it's just lovely that it's been retained in the local community. And it's now a really kind of quite prestigious museum and art gallery. So I think it's really important that we support the arts with the current financial climates that we're all living in. We don't know what's around the corner. And I think if we do have some spare disposable income, it's always lovely to support our local arts venues like that. So I'll be absolutely watching with the beady eye of for future exhibitions and displays there. But yeah, there you go. If you're interested, I'm not on the commission for it, but yeah, bound together, Petersfield Museum and Art Gallery. I'm really pleased that I saw about it in time to visit. It's been running since mid-February, so it's been running for a few months, but yeah, there is still time to go if you wish. So yeah, a big thank you for watching this far. I really do appreciate you taking the time to do so, whether you are a returning viewer now or you have just stumbled across my channel for the first time. I really want to say thank you to each and every one of you. If you are new to my channel, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, maybe the like button for this video, and the notification bell is really important so you don't miss any of my future videos. But my regular viewers by now always know that I sort of do a call out for to leave me an emoji in the comments below to let me know that you're out there and that you've watched this far. So I think in honour of the birds, because the birds are singing outside right now for springtime, it is truly lovely spring weather, blue skies, not a cloud in the sky, lovely sunshine. For England, it was about 18 degrees today, which is a lovely warm temperature. We will take that. And in honour of this bird here, please let me know if you know what bird that is. I am quite bad with birds unless it's like a robin or a dove or a pigeon. I am trying to learn birds much more as I sort of have my garden and want to learn about plants and flowers and birds as well. So if you know what this bird is, I think it's some sort of sparrow, or no, I'm going to stop there. This is purely guessing at this point. But yeah, leave me some sort of bird emoji. That would be lovely. But yeah, I hope you're all doing really well this week. I hope you have got a really good read on the go, whether that's hardback, paperback or audiobook. And yeah, I look forward to sharing whatever sort of bookish shenanigans I'm getting up to in next week's video. But until then, take care, happy reading, and bye.